Okay, so if you're looking for a houseplant that is an absolute showstopper, you've definitely found it in the zebra plant, the Aphelandra squarrosa. I mean, with those glossy, striped leaves and those super vibrant yellow blooms, it's basically a living work of art. But, as you might have heard, it also comes with, well, a bit of a reputation.
And yep, there it is. Plant expert Anastasia Remezlo just hits the nail on the head. This plant is known for being tricky, a little bit dramatic, and pretty unforgiving. So look, if you've ever struggled with one, you are not alone. It's a plant that demands your attention and has like zero tolerance for neglect.
So you're probably asking, why even bother with such a demanding plant? Well, because the reward is so worth it. The foliage alone, with those deep green leaves and those brilliant white veins, is a masterpiece. The golden flower spikes? Absolutely spectacular. And maybe the most important reason of all, and this is confirmed by the ASPCA, is completely non-toxic to your pets. That peace of mind, right there, makes learning its secrets a totally worthy investment.
Okay, so here's the crucial thing. We have to reframe how we think about this plant. The zebra plant isn't difficult, it's just specific. You have to remember, it evolved on the Brazilian rainforest floor, an environment that is incredibly stable. It's used to consistent warmth, consistent moisture, and consistent light. It's not being a diva, it's just hardwired for consistency. If you can provide that, trust me, you can master this plant.
So let's start with light. To really get what it wants, you have to picture where it comes from. It's not out in some clearing getting blasted by sun. Nope, it's growing under the dappled shade of a massive rainforest canopy. And that right there gives us our first major clue for how to care for it.
And this slide perfectly shows the two extremes you have to avoid. Direct, harsh sunlight will literally scorch these beautiful leaves, turning them all pale and crispy. But deep shade isn't good either. The plant will get leggy, stretching for light, those famous stripes will fade, and you will never, ever see it bloom. So, what's the sweet spot? Bright, filtered light. Think about the light you'd get from an east-facing window, that gentle morning sun, but protected from the harsh afternoon heat. That's what you're aiming for.
All right, so once you've found the perfect spot for light, the next big hurdle is what is arguably the #1 reason these plants fail: watering. It has a very, very specific moisture requirement, a true Goldilocks zone.
This is hands down the best analogy I've ever heard for it. You want the soil to be consistently moist, just like a wrung-out sponge. If the leaves start to droop, that's a cry for help. It means you've waited too long. And yeah, it might perk back up, but letting it wilt over and over again will stress the plant out and lead to leaf drop. So rule #1, never let it dry out completely.
For this plant, I really recommend bottom watering. Why? Because it lets the soil wick up exactly the amount of water it needs, which makes sure the entire root ball gets saturated. Plus, and this is important, it keeps the leaves and the crown of the plant dry, which helps prevent rot and fungal issues. Just always remember to use lukewarm water. You don't want to shock those sensitive roots.
So, we've covered light and water, and both are crucial. But if there is one single thing that will make or break your success with a zebra plant, the one element that is truly, completely non-negotiable, it's what we're about to talk about next.
The answer is humidity. This is the secret handshake. This is what separates a thriving, gorgeous zebra plant from a sad, crispy one that's on its last legs. Now, check this out, because this chart really shows you the problem so clearly. The air in our homes is basically a desert compared to the humid jungle this plant craves. That massive gap between 30 or 40% and its happy place of over 60%, that's what causes those brown, crispy leaf edges, the most common complaint you hear about this plant. So, how do we fix it? A humidifier is the gold standard, no question about it. But a pebble tray also works really well by creating a little humid microenvironment right around the plant. Grouping it with other tropicals helps too. And notice what to avoid: misting. Seriously, it only raises the humidity for a few minutes, and it can lead to fungal spots if water just sits on the leaves. Okay, so once you've mastered the basics, light, water, and that all-important humidity, you can start thinking about the really fun stuff, getting those incredible blooms, and even making new baby plants.
Now here's a cool fact you might not know about that flower. The big, showy yellow spike isn't the flower at all. It's actually called a bract, which is just a set of modified leaves. The true flowers are those tiny yellow blossoms that pop out from between the bracts. They only last for a few days, but that beautiful bract itself can stay vibrant for over a month. Once it starts to fade, be sure to snip it off to redirect energy back into the leaves.
Propagating this plant is a little more advanced, and your success really boils down to two things: heat and humidity. After you take a cutting, you absolutely need to use rooting hormone. It's not optional for this plant. Then you create a little humidity dome by covering it. But the real game changer here is warmth. Placing it on a seedling heat mat will dramatically, and I mean dramatically, increase your chances of getting roots.
Look, even with the best care, your plant might send you some distress signals. The key is learning how to read them, how to decode its language, and react quickly. Think of this as your quick diagnostic chart. If you see drooping leaves, it's almost always thirst. Water it. Brown, crispy edges? That's the classic low humidity alarm bell. If the lower leaves are suddenly falling off, check for a cold draft from a window or a vent. And those distinct brown spots are a clear sign of sunburn. The good news is, every signal has a clear cause and a direct fix, as long as you act quickly.
So, we come back to that first question. Is this plant truly a diva? You know, a diva is someone who's difficult for no reason. But the zebra plant isn't being difficult, it's communicating its very specific tropical needs. If you listen and provide that consistent warmth, that consistent moisture, and that humidity, it's not a diva at all. It's a stunning, rewarding partner just waiting to bring a little piece of the rainforest right into your home.